yesterday what a general solution is?
Yeah, it's with the plus C.
Plus C. Particular solution, you have to find C. Okay? So a particular solution is an antiderivative. No, not hard. Not hard. Antiderivative with specific value for plus C. Okay, and then in order to find it, you need an ordered pair. We're going to do the sheet you picked up after we finish your notes from yesterday. No, we'll do it in class.
So don't do homework?
You didn't pick up homework. It's notes.
I said no new homework.
You have one, but not till tomorrow. So you'll have two. Alright, ready? So, first question. Differential equation. It's going to be f prime of x equals 6x squared plus e to the x. Find the particular solution through point 0.09. Okay. So the only difference at this point is yesterday we called it a general solution. Today we're calling it a particular solution. And you have this extra point. So the first part is going to be the same. Now, before we start, what's a differential equation? It's an equation that has a derivative. So if I want to undo the derivative, do you remember the little integral symbol? Okay, do it on both sides. What's the integral of f prime called if I undo the derivative? Regular f of x. Okay, then undo your 6x squared. Remember, you add 1 and then divide. Yes, yes. E to the x plus c. Okay, at this point, how can I find c if I know an ordered pair? Yeah. Yeah. What is x?
0.
What is 9? Y. And then what's the only thing left? C. So, I'm going to use my point, 9 equals 2, 0 cubed plus e to the 0 plus c. 2 times 0 is 0, gone. E to the 0? 1, so 9 equals 1 plus c. Then minus the 1 across c is close? 8. Yeah? Then from there, you know now your general solution. Okay, we'll mark it here. This is your general solution. But your particular solution, now I know what C is. Make sense? Good. Okay, we only have a couple more left.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next one. dy dx equals cosine x plus 2. And you are going to find the particular solution. I'm going to abbreviate that PS. If you want to write it out, you can, but it's just particular solution. Okay, through the ordered pair, pi halves, comma 7. Okay, so what do we do first? We have a dy dx. We do the integral or antiderivative. When you antiderivative dy dx, you're undoing the derivative. That makes it a what? Regular y. Okay, then remember, with sine and cosine, you're still doing snow cone, but you're going up the ladder.
Negative sign.
Close?
The sign.
Sine. Because if I'm here, right, negative sign. If I'm on cosine, going up would put me here. So it'd be sine x. What's the antiderivative of plus 2?
Plus 2x.
2x plus c. Then from there, particular solution comes in when I plug in my ordered pair and solve for c. So 7 needs to be the answer for y when my x value is a 0.
Wait. Does
Oh, it was pi halves. Thank you. Dang. Okay, then what's sine pi halves? 1. So I'd have 7 equals 1 plus, then 2 times pi over 2 is just a what? Pi, because the 2's you can cross out. And then minus the 1 across. So that's 6 equals pi plus c, then what's c? 6 minus pi, good job. Make sense? Okay, so you go back to your general solution, move the c out of the way, put the 6 minus pi in, and then you're done. So my particular solution would be y equals sine x plus 2x plus 6 minus pi. And that would be your answer. Good. So good. Okay, only 2 more left. Do you want to do one off your homework?
Sure.
Okay, get out your homework. Q, were you gone yesterday?
I think I'm okay. Can we just get through the notes, please?
Never.
Yeah. We should be able to get caught up today. The one the other class asked about was number 19 off the back with the E in it. Or you can pick a different one.
It's so big fun. Who's 17? Yeah.
7?
Can't take pictures.
Okay, 17 should be really fast. All that you have to do is times this in before you do the antiderivative. So your dy dx is really what once you multiply that out? 2x minus 2. And then from there, you'd integrate both sides just like we did in your notes. So what's the integral of dy dx? Regular y. And then on the other side, 2x, what's the antiderivative? X squared, and then the 2 cancels out because you would have divided the 2 on the 2. Okay, then minus 2, what's the antiderivative of that? 2x plus c. And then from there, they're giving you an ordered pair, 3, 2. Yeah. So 2 needs to be the answer when you go back and plug in 3.
Yes, sir.
Too easy. Okay, 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 2 times 3 is 6. What's 9 minus 6?
Dude, actually, I lost my homework.
Wow. Okay, then minus the 3c is a negative.
Wait.
Yep.
I think I just put in one of my homework.
Do you want a new one?
Oh, it's right here.
Okay.
He's kidding. I don't know what
So
it is.
c is negative 1. Okay, do the one right underneath it. So c is negative 1. So I'm going to cross this out, put a minus 1, and then you're done. Okay, right below it, dy dx equals 1 over x. Do you rewrite? Special. What do you do? ln. Good. You still integrate both sides, but the integral of dy dx is y. And then going backwards on a 1 over x, you get ln absolute value x plus c. Okay, then your e cubed 5. 5 is your y, e cubed is your x. What happens when I have the ln of e cubed? Good. ln and e cross out, that turns into just a 3. Now, let's say you're taking the AP test and you forgot that. Could you leave it like this? Sure, okay? Little dweeby, because you should know that ln and e cancel, but it would still work. Okay, dweeby. having characteristics of a dweeb.
I know how to
Okay,
do it.
then 5 minus 3 is 2. So your C is 2. What's up?
You have notes from yesterday.
Paper notes or video?
Paper.
Yes. Mike, I told him about our Kroger eating yesterday. The notes from today started here. Yep.
Can you email the Smith and tell her that I'm here?
Miss who?
Smith.
Yeah.
Should be revolutionary.
What's her first name?
The app teacher with Tracy.
Okay. Okay, cool. Alright, so then your C is a 2, so then you gotta come back up here, cross out your C, put a 2 in, and you're done. Good? Okay, last 2 examples in your notes. 5 minus 3? Yeah?
L and E, I think cancel out.
Yep. How do they cancel out?
L and, well, it's like when you have E cubed and then U, L and then that cancels out.
Uh-huh. Yep. You got it. Okay, alright, back to your notes. 2 more. And then we're moving on. Okay, the third one. D squared y dx squared equals. We did 2 of them. We're finishing your notes. Can't slow down. Okay, you know you're back in your notes now. I'm just writing it down. Calm, calm. I can't write slower.
So what if it was like E to the 4?
ln of e to the 4 would just be 4. ln of e to the 5 would just be 5, because ln and e cross out. Also, want to really blow your mind? Okay, look, get this. Okay, if you had e to the ln of 5, they still cancel out
Yes.
to give you 5. Doesn't matter. You could have the ln on the bottom, they still cancel. Okay, because they're inverses. Okay, ready? So, this time, what derivative were you given?
The second
So how many antiderivatives will you have to do? 2. Now you're going to have to do them separately. Here's why. When I do my first antiderivative, I'm going to get a C. I'm going to have to solve for it. And then I'll take the antiderivative again. Okay, so if you want on your homework, this is like numbers 20 and 21. Okay? So, first thing I'm going to do is integral. What is the integral of the second derivative, d squared y dx squared? dy dx. What is the antiderivative of negative cosine on your snow cone? Negative sine x plus c. Now, this is a first derivative, so which of the 2 ordered pairs should I use? The first one. Why? Because it has a prime, and primes go with dy dx. So, 5/2 needs to be the answer when I plug in pi 6. Make sense? So I use my first derivative point with my first derivative equation. Then from there, what is the sine of pi 6? 1/2, so it's -1/2 plus c. How do I get rid of -1/2? Yeah, just add it back across. Good. Because 5/2 plus 1/2 would be 6/2, which is the same as 3. Everybody good to there? Okay, so what's my dy dx now? Let's do the particular solution. It'd be negative sine x plus 3. Now, I don't want dy dx. I want to go all the way back to the original equation. So that means we have to do our antiderivative just one more time. Antiderivative of dy dx, what would we call it? Regular y. Antiderivative of negative sine, what would you call it?
Cosine X.
Positive cosine x. And the reason you had to find the 3 is now, what's the antiderivative of 3? 3x. And if you hadn't found that, you'd end up messing up, plus c. Then look at your 2 points you were given. You want to use the one that doesn't have a derivative now. So 0 will be the answer, or I'll plug in 0 for x, and 8 should be the y value. Anusha, do you have a question? Okay. Okay? So now I'm using this guy down here, because it doesn't have a derivative on it. Then what's cosine 0? 1. What about 3 times 0? Whoosh, gone, yeah. And then plus c, then c is 7. Now, you can't leave, especially on the AP test. If it's multiple choice, just look at it, pick your answer. But if you left it like this, you never really gave the full equation. So just be careful about that. You need to rewrite it. Cosine x plus 3x plus 7. The other option you could do if you want to be lazy is just go back, erase it, put a 7, and it's fine. Okay, but you have to write your full equation at some point. Okay? Question, what's this called if it has a C? The general solution. What's this one called? Particular solution. Got the difference? We have one more left. Okay, last one, number 4. F double prime equals 12x squared plus 6x minus 4, and you are given f of 0, f prime of 0 is 4, and f of negative 1 is 7. Now, I'm going to tell you the answers up front, but you're going to do it on your own while I pass out your semester exam reviews. Your first plus c should be a 4. Your second plus c should be a 13. Some people picked him back up, but some didn't, and I don't want him just sitting there. Okay, so work with a friend. You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it?
I believe in you.
Yes.
You should get a 4 and a 13.
Smart. You loyal. Like the
You will.
another one.
I know you will.
How's business?
Well, unless for some of the people that turned in.
Move it.
A 75.
Old.
Oh, I fixed it though, didn't I? Or I had to change it because you had above 100. Yeah.
Welcome to the
Got
Cowboys.
you through the heart. Hopefully you didn't cry
Y'all funny, man.
over points you can't even really have.
What do you mean? I earned it.
You said you went home. I guess he did feel.
You can do it. Do you need help?
No, I'm straight, dude.
Okay, good.
What is it, John?
Krish, we're doing it, yeah? Doing it. See, you wrote the problem.
You saw me.
That's a good first start. Ebenezer, how we doing? You stayed awake today. Ebenezer.
What did you just say?
Oh, wow.
What was the second?
Look, I did everything.
Should be 13.
Every single problem. I did it. Look.
I know.
It's on there.
Okay, I
You
didn't want to
give
do
me
it
like
to
a gold
you.
star at
This is more
least.
important already.
Will that make you feel better? If I give you a gold star.
I want that. So please set this with me.
Why am I getting CS?
Okay.
Should be 13.
Probably
Okay.
Oh, time.
can't take notes.
Oh, hey. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't forget.
You figure it out? Figure out how to add. Adding is hard, I know.
Because the other class I really be falling asleep in.
Wow. So rude.
But I love my
Impeached.
What? Impeached? Why?
The first authoritative president to be impeached. Y'all getting it? Okay. So, integral f prime equals your first derivative should have been 4x3, x2, 3, 4x plus c. Answer should be 4 when you plug in 0, so c is automatically 4. First one should have been easy. Second one, integral of f prime is regular f. x4 plus x3 minus 2x squared plus 4x plus c. Then from there you should have been using this one. So 7 is the answer when you plug in -1. Okay, then what happens if you have -1 to the 4th power? How's it come out? That's a positive 1, but then -1 to the 3rd power comes out as a -1. So really, those guys just cross out. Okay, then from there, -1 squared, how much is that?
Mr. Studio Girl.
Yep, times -2 minus 4 plus c. That makes this a -6, and how do you undo the -6? You add it back across. Make sense? Okay, can I leave it like that? I'm done? No, what do you do? Got it?
Yes.
Too easy for you? Okay, let's go to your notes that you picked up on the way in. No.
Boom, boom, boom.
What is boom, 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 Wilson?
Oh, it's
Tell us.
boom, boom room.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That sounds inappropriate.
That's good. I thought I said
What
boom,
happens
boom,
in the
boom.
boom room?
This.
Whatever it is.
Whoa.
Math? Study sessions? No?
I deleted it, obviously.
Good. Okay. Okay, look at your first question. Okay, Wilson, read it for us. Number 1.
A particle moves along a straight line and has an acceleration given by a t, which equals 2t minus 6.
Okay.
The particle is eventually traveling to the right at a velocity of 8 centimeters per second. At t equals 3, the particle's position is 8 centimeters to the right of the origin.
Okay, so what you're going to notice is that pretty much we're not going to cover this for forever because we already covered this once. The only difference is instead of taking derivatives to find acceleration and velocity, they're going to start us with acceleration. How will we find velocity? An antiderivative. Okay, and then how will I get to position? I'll take another antiderivative. So, if acceleration here is 2t minus 6, then how will I find velocity? You just said it. We'll do the integral on both sides. So the integral of acceleration is going to bring me backwards to velocity. And then what's the antiderivative of 2t minus... Oh, Siri.
Could you please repeat it?
No. Thanks. No. 2t, what's the antiderivative? T squared? 6t plus c. Now, remember, in order for me to finish that equation, I need to know the velocity at some point to solve for my c. What did they tell me right here? Initially, the velocity was 8. So what that means is that v of 0 is 8. And that's the ordered pair that I can then use here. Bye, Amen.
Wow, man.
So it'll be 8 equals 0 minus 6 times 0 plus c. So 0, 0, c is 8. So then I can come over here and write my velocity equation. It's going to be t squared minus 6t plus 8 for part A. Now, for part B, I want to know when the particle is at rest. This question, you should already know how to do. Once I know velocity, what do? You set it equal to 0. Yeah? So I'll do 0 equals, what will multiply to 8 and add to negative 6? Minus 4 and minus 2. Which means that my critical numbers when it's at rest are 2 and 4. Okay, then how will I know which direction the particle is traveling? I'll have to do a line test. Where does it start? Infinity? No, 0. Okay, 2 and 4 both go on your chart. Smaller than 2, maybe I pick 0. 0 minus 4 is negative. 0 minus 2 is negative. Multiply two negatives, you get a positive. Okay, then, was 2 a double root? No, then I know it switches to be negative. Was 4 a double root? Then I know it switches to be positive. Then draw your thing and put where it's going to the left. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. So to the left from 2 to 4. Make sense? Okay, we're going to skip the next two parts and just jump to position so that we can get through the whole question. How do I find position now? I know acceleration. I know velocity. I need to do it again. Very good. Yeah, so I'll take the velocity equation. I'll do the antiderivative of that. So come back to right here. Here's my velocity equation. Integral. What's the integral of velocity called? Position. And then what's the antiderivative of t squared? Yeah, t cubed, and then I have to put a 1/3 in front, right? Okay, then what about my 6t? What's the antiderivative of that? 3t squared. And then what about my plus, oops, it was an 8. What's the antiderivative of 8? 8t plus c. Okay, and then I have to go back to my original to find an ordered pair that I can use to solve for the c. Okay, so what did they tell me for my position? At time 3, the position is 8. So that means that x of 3 is 8. That's what I'm going to use down there. So at time 3, the position is 8. That means 8 will be the answer when my time is 3. And I'll sub that in here. Okay. 3 cubed, what is it? Divide it by 3 or make a third of it. Okay, so I have 8 equals 9 minus 3 squared here is 9 times 3 is 27. What's 8 times 3 for my next term? 24 plus c. Then 27 gives me negative 3. And then if I subtract that from the 9, I get a 6 left over. C is 2. So come over here to your position. It says to call it S of t. So I would follow whatever instructions they tell you. So if they're calling it S, then I'll call it S. But it would be all this crap, but then your C is going to be a 2. So a third t cubed, 3t squared, 8t plus 2. And that would be your equation. Then it says, is the particle going towards or away from the origin? What 2 things do you need for that question? Your choices are position, velocity, or acceleration. You need 2 out of the 3.
Position and velocity.
Position and velocity. Good. So I need S of 0 and V of 0. And remember that each of those things tell me one of the 2 things that I need, but you need both. So S of 0, I'm plugging in a 0 here. 0, 0, 0, 2. Velocity of 0, I'd come back up here to the top. Velocity is up here. So I'd have 0, 0 plus 8 is 8. Well then, where am I starting? On the left or the right? You're starting on the right, because it's a positive 2. And then which way are we traveling? And you're traveling to the right. So if I'm on the right and I'm traveling to the right, then I'm going away. Make sense?
How do you write
Away from origin. You're asking how to explain it?
like, is it the same?
Yeah, you would say because particles on the right side and traveling to the right. Good? You love it? So easy? No, we're going to do one more off the back. Turn over to the back side. Why are y'all so tired today?
I don't know.
Come on. No, I'm feeling great. Excited to be here. I love this. We're going to do number 4. Do it. You have velocity?
I pick E.
No. That actually, I don't know if that's right. Okay, velocity. I want to find the position of the particle at 1. What do I need to do if I have velocity but I want position? Anti. So integral on both sides. What's the integral of velocity called? X of t, or you could use S of t. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the antiderivative of 3t squared, what would that be? Okay, plus 6t plus c. Then from there, look into the equation and find the ordered pair that they gave you. They have to give you an ordered pair to find c. Okay, very good. At time 0, the position is 2. So that means that x of 0 is 2. And you have to be careful. Remember, time is your x value, your independent variable. So I'm putting in zeros here. I'm putting a 2 in for position. Well, then automatically we know c must be 2. So then I can come up here to my equation. I can either rewrite the whole thing or carefully scratch out the c, put in a 2 instead. I'm going to rewrite it, but you can do what you want. So t cubed plus 3t squared plus 2. Now, they don't want the position equation, they want the position at 1. So what would you do from there? Yep, plug it in. So we'd have 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. So x of 1 would be plug in. Oh my gosh, your attitude sucks. Yes, we're done. You can do your homework. Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, and then we'll finish these tomorrow. You have one tomorrow, but you can do most of it right now. Would you like it right now?
Great.
I mean, it's not due till Friday, so.
Thank you, Ms. Joyner. It was wonderful. I really enjoyed that.
You sass me the whole time I give you notes, and then you want help after.